How's the station?
All right, so it is 9:59. So my name is Megan. Some of you know me, some of you do not. I've been in real estate here 18 years, been working with the board for 10. I'm your current president. My phone number and email is up there. If y'all have any questions, please, I do not hesitate to reach out. I am not the know-all die with me Megan Matrix, okay? But I do know enough to teach the class, teach you some tips, tricks, and just kind of give you the overview. This class is for you 100%. So if I go over something and you're like, whoa, she did that too fast, I have no idea what the heck you just did, please just speak up and say, hey, can you go back to that? I have a question. If you ask me something I don't know, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I don't know, because like I said, I don't know everything. And I will get the answer for you or go run and grab somebody and see if they can answer it. This class doesn't really have a set time. So I'm gonna go and try to go through as much as I can I know our attention spans and our work schedules and everything, the longer we go, the less excited we are. So I'm gonna try to move through things quickly and give you a lot of overview. The first thing I would like to say is that we do have a YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you search Longleaf Pine Realtors Association office, and you come here and you go to the videos and click on videos, you will see that a lot of our previous classes have been recorded. Our practical apps have been recorded. We have luncheon stuff, we have Zan stuff, but if you go to the bottom somewhere, I am partially blind, so, you'll go down to Matrix 1 and 2. And this is 1 hour of each video, of going through in-depth in Matrix. So it will be very similar to some of the stuff I'm going over today. So if you're like, man, I would really love, my advice to people is put it on your phone and then get on your computer and watch the videos. But it goes through all the stats for everything that we're gonna kind of quickly hit on today. And you can see people are utilizing it. Actually has 1,000 views and 500 views. So it's actually being utilized. So use that as a resource if you didn't know we had it. If you also don't know that we have a Facebook page, Longleaf Pine Realtors Only, please join that page because that's where we put out a lot of training content, a lot of, what's going on with the NAR, all things like that. So if you're not part of the closed group Facebook page, please go to that as well. We do have a practical app series going on right now. So every Monday for the next 4 weeks, there's a series of training. If you've not taken it, I highly recommend you take it. One class goes over contracts, one class goes over working with buyers, one with sellers, and one with contract closing. You have to register for those classes. They do fill up. So, see them when you're leaving here. If you have not taken those classes, you should, especially if you don't have training in your offices or you haven't been to training in a while. That's a really good tool. All right, so we're gonna log in. And if you want to,
I meant to turn you
if you want to log onto your computer, you can, you don't have to. Just be aware that you might fall behind if you're trying to do things at the same time. So, just take a moment to maybe not get too lost in your computer. There were a lot of people that wanted to be in this class, so I do ask that you pay attention in the class. There were a lot of seats that wanted to be filled, so please engage, ask questions, and if you need anything else from there, just let me know. Okay, so your home page here, when you first log in, you'll see that you have the Matrix link to go to Matrix. We have Realist, and we're gonna go into each of these individually throughout the class, but just to kind of give you an overview. Your showing time, you can go into showing time, schedule your showings, change your showings on your listings, send out email announcements to the board, things like that. So that's in showing time. Fast stats are going to show you month over month stats from our MLS from November, December, whatever, to be using at your listing appointments. We're going to go through that as well as detailed stat reports. Your transaction desk, info sparks, again, more graphics. Cloud CMA is a second version of the CMA. So we give you the CMA within the platform, which I prefer, but you also have a cloud CMA, which we'll touch on. You have your Supra, you have your eProperty Watch, RPR. So you have a lot of good things up here. We're going to touch on all of those, hopefully. The one thing I'd like to point out is your Matrix Learning Lab. If there is anything that you want to learn about a matrix, if you go into this, they have 1 to 3 minute videos on everything. Literally everything. When you go to it, it's gonna pop up the homepage, you go in. It has little video clips that you can go to, you click on the videos and it's gonna do your online learning. So if I wanna learn about matrix, you click on it, scroll down, and it's gonna start giving you videos, literally everything you could think of, and they're 1 to 3 minutes. So how do I do a math search? How do I do a map search? How do I do this? And they're 1 to 3 minutes. So you can literally come in here every day and pick 2 or 3 videos to watch, and you're gonna learn it like a pro. So if there's anything, you don't wanna watch my 1 hour long video because it's too long and I talk too much, you come in here, search what you're looking for, and you'll find exactly what you want in a 1 to 3 minute video. So this learning lab is a great tool. You also have on here your Cuba Casa. So this is a new thing that is provided by MLS. If you click on it, you have to create an account. You'll be able to take photos and it will create a floor plan for you. Okay, so you're gonna have to create an account and kind of play with that and dig into that. But it is here on your login homepage. You also have this wonderful calendar of events. So I sometimes see realtors posting on social media that they never know that anything's going on. That's because they never look at the calendar. So there's your calendar, and it has classes, it has trainings, anything that's going on in this office, you will see it on the calendar. So you always have access. Yes.
I'm sorry, is there any way you can change like the format of that?
This page here, no, the next
No.
page, oh,
Oh, for the calendar?
no.
Okay.
No, and when you click on it, unfortunately, it does a weird thing when you try to get more information. It like adds it as a weird setup in your calendar, but no, I don't think you can change that.
Okay.
And also I don't see the link. I don't think there's a link for it on here, but you late.
Yeah.
What? If you roll out late today?
I am so sorry.
Man, I tell you. Good morning, friend.
Good morning, good morning.
So the other thing that you get as a benefit, I don't think there's a link on here. You should have gotten an email. If you didn't, or you said you didn't and you lost it, you can reach out to the board. We do have that Forewarn app now. Everybody should be utilizing. If you're not utilizing it, you don't know what I'm talking about, send an email to Longleaf, ask for your login. That is where you can enter a name or phone number and it will do a criminal check on it. It's very good if you're going to meet a stranger, somebody keeps calling you, you don't know who it is, you can put them into that app and kind of screen them. That's a benefit of here too. Forewarn, Forewarn. You would have had an email come from the board, but if it went to your junk or you didn't open it or you didn't know what it was and deleted it, you could just email the front desk and they will send you a new link to get the account. And then also your dues are here. And before everybody sighs and gets dramatic, the dues, we have a class, our nuts and bolts next Tuesday. I highly recommend Zoom that you get on. It's going to explain the breakdown of all of those fees and what it goes to and what you get for it. So if you have a question of why I'm paying that and I don't want to pay it, that is a great class to log on next week because it will break it down state, national, local level. So you know where your money is going to. All right, so matrix, we're going to go into matrix. So you have your news and alerts. Okay, this looks very different. Why is this so big? Why does it look like that? It's huge. Why is that?
Go to the magnifying glass up top, I think you can zoom out.
Here?
I think.
Yes.
Oh, Liz, you are my new favorite. If I had candy, I'd throw it to you, girl. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Way to have my back. All right. So this is your little homepage. So when you log in, news and alerts, you cannot edit or change. That's always going to be something that the board's putting out. That means when you go to log in, it's going to pop up and you have to either acknowledge that you've read it or not. You have the market watches over here. So it's going to show you new listings coming soon, back on market. This is a great tool a lot of people use for their social media. Hey, today we've had 12 go pending, or we've had, price increases. So it's a great stat that you can use for trying to drum up, attraction to your social media. We have our hot sheets and we'll go over some of these later. Then here you also have your external links. So all of those things that were on that homepage that I just showed you, they're all listed right here. So you could go to the learning lab and all that good stuff. When you have auto emails set up, so I'll show you how to do that, but where your clients are automatically getting emails with listings that match their needs, you'll see them listed here and when's the last time they logged in or any recent activity that they've had. And then you can do a direct search for an MLS item here. There's your Matrix Learning Lab. Again, this is a great tool. 1 to 3 minute videos of how to learn how to use something. It's really great. These are your own listings, your own office stats, things like that. So you'll see all of your own data here. The concierge, so when you set up an auto email, is a setting we'll go over to where your client will automatically get those listings that you can screen them first and then approve it and it goes to the client. So you'll see it on your homepage. So I have 15 that I need to approve. I'm really on top of it. So there's your favorite searches. Here's if anybody's reached out to contact, your home visit and your carts. I do want to explain that your carts, which we'll talk about later, carts are different than your auto email. So if I have any really seasoned agents in here, we used to have carts back in the day before this MLS, and that would go to our clients. That is not the same thing. So I just want to point that if you're setting up carts, that's not going to your clients. All right, so on our My Matrix, you have your dashboard, you have summary, you have contacts, all those things that you see auto emails. If you go to summary here, it's going to show you your listing information, your contacts, all that good stuff, and you could go to settings. When you go to your settings, here's where you could change some of how your information looks. So like right now you have a blue banner at the top, right? And you might want to change that for when people are getting your information. So first, make sure your information is correct. So when you're sending things out, this is the information that those people are seeing on those sheets that they're getting from you, the emails in one home. If you need to change an email or phone number and it doesn't allow you to do it on here, you just need to reach out to Longleaf and change that information. The header and footer is what I want to show you to change to personalize. So if you've not personalized your MLS, you can click on the header and footer, and here you have the option to upload a custom photo. So you should put your photo on it. So if people are getting listings from you, right? Then when they actually meet you in person, if your photo mine doesn't, looks exactly like you, then they're like, oh, it's you know, but if your photo is 20 years old, it might be a little different. So you can upload a custom photo or you can have no photo. You can also select a different banner. So right now, y'all's are blue with a little house. You can change it to any one of these banners. And you can also upload your own logo. So if you have your own brand or company, you can upload that here. So that's being branded to everything that you're sending out on your CMAs, all that good stuff, versus just having the generic blue top with no photo.
Where would you go to customize it?
So you would go here, you could hit upload a custom banner right here, if you have a custom logo you want to use, or here you would just select one of those that are provided that we just scrolled through. It has image requirements, of course, so however you do that, but you could just click on that and upload your own custom image. So if you want to put your logo, your brand, whatever that is. Your CMA, thank you for asking a question. Your CMA cover sheet, so this is what they're going to see when you create your CMAs. You update that, change that however you want. This will be your email signature as it goes out. So if you want to add a link or do a website or anything like that that's going out to these people from your portal, you could change it there. And then we also have our one home, which we'll go into from there. So this is just something I like to go over because a lot of people see the customized thing and will ask me, how'd you do that? So that's just quick and easy to go over. You also have, when you've created auto emails, which we'll talk about on the next tab, you can always click right here and go to your auto emails and you can edit those. So once I have set somebody up for an auto email and they decide to change their criteria, I can go in and change that criteria. I can change my settings. It is not permanent. You can also send them a market update right from here. So you do have access to go back into those contacts and make changes. And we'll kind of circle back to that when we create one. There's your saved searches. If you want to see all the emails that have gone out, you can go to your sent emails and you'll see who, what, when. You'll see if it's been, opened, you'll see how many was sent, you'll see when. So if you feel like your auto email is not working, this is a great way to check and see if it's been sent. So you do have the access to see that. When you've done your CMAs, you can come back to my CMAs and go back in and edit all those. So you do have access. A lot of people in my last class that I did a CMA didn't know how to go back and find it. So it's under my CMAs. You can go back in, you can click on it, and then you can hit edit or whatever you want from here to go back into that CMA. Yes.
I was told that if you have searches saved and then you have updates to the program, it loses all of your searches, it loses everything that you saved, is that?
What do you mean updates to the program?
Any updates that they're doing to,
Matrix?
the MLS, the Matrix, yeah.
I'd have to verify that. I'll ask on a break, but I don't know about that. I know your saved searches, if the statuses and stuff change, that automatically gets updated, but I don't know about it being completely wiped out. I've never had that happen, so I don't know. I'll ask.
I was in class with someone from, they were in the triangle, so.
Yeah, it might be different if it's the triangle, so, yeah. So our search, so here in search, you can search residential. You can search specifically farm or commercial. You can do multifamily, lots and land rentals. I get a lot of questions about rentals. You absolutely can come in here and search rentals, send it to your clients, show rentals, however that works. Verify with your firm. Cross property, this is where I want to search my residential and rentals all in one search. So why would you want to do that? Well, if my client's an investor and I'm looking at houses in that neighborhood, I might want to see what they're renting for at the same time. And if the rent's not, being equivalent to what the sales are, it's all in one search. So that's a nice thing to do, to see the rentals and the activity of sales. You can also go directly to public records from here and search somebody and all that good stuff. We're gonna go to residential because most of us are residential. You can't do commercial in here, but keep in mind that commercial also has their own platform. So you'll get about 50% in our MLS for commercial, but commercial also has their own platform. So it may not all be in here. So our search screen, this is your search screen. Lovely. At the bottom, if you don't have anything down here, so if your screen stops right here, you need to click add and remove. When you go to add and remove, these are all the extra fields you can add to search. So if you're trying to look for a pool and you're trying to look for these other things, you would add these fields like exterior amenities, exterior features. And this is where you could go in and search for that water. You could search for the pool. You could search for decks, all that good stuff. So if there's a certain field that you're looking for and you're trying to wonder why you can't narrow it down, come to here and click add and remove, and you can add all those fields, okay? And it's unlimited what you can add in there. So you can just keep adding fields, then you can add it to your search when you want to use it. If you want to remove it, so if I want to add something, I'm just going to click on it and click add. If I want to remove it, appliances, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit remove, and it's going to remove it. And then it's always going to be permanently there or not there on your home screen until you make any other changes, okay? You have your statuses here, coming soon, all that good stuff, pretty self-explanatory. You have within miles of distance, so you can put within 10 miles of, a location. You have bedrooms and bathrooms. You have to put a plus sign or a dash sign. If I just do 3 bedrooms, it's only going to pull 3 bedrooms, okay? But if I do 3-4, it's gonna pull 3 to 4 bedrooms, but it's not gonna give me 5, and it's not gonna give me 2. So if you want to be specific in something, you would do 3 and a plus sign, or you would do 3 and a minus. Same with bathrooms, all that good stuff. If you don't put any of those little arrows or anything afterwards, you're going to get just what you put in. Same with year built, you can put plus or minus. If I want 2012 and newer, plus sign, or older, negative sign. So you can, kind of manipulate those searches. Counties, let's say you don't know all the counties, you can click on this little square next to it. It's going to give you a list of all the counties. So if you weren't sure, or you can't remember, or you don't know how to spell it, you could just click that little thing next to it and it's going to give you all the options. Same with subdivisions. It will give you different lists of subdivisions. Usually they tell you to kind of put more specific, start a letter or something. And you can put multiple. So if I put Coke here, click on it, you can put in multiple. So there's a line under it. You can keep adding. You don't have to have just one. Same with city, all that good stuff, garage, all that good stuff. Over here, it goes through your types. Do you want new construction? Yes or no, styles, all that good stuff. The one thing I want to point out is remarks. So the remarks is a really good tool to help if I'm looking for something specific. It's 1-word searches, but let's say I'm looking for a pool. I would put an asterisk and then the word pool and then asterisk. Now what that means is the asterisk is taking the place for anything before and then the asterisk anything after. So anything that starts or ends with pool in the remarks 1, 2, or 3 is going to pull a result. So you might search handyman, right? Because maybe it's not a foreclosure. But my client's looking for a fixer upper. You could put the asterisk, handyman, asterisk, and anything that starts or begins with handyman is gonna pop up in your results. So when I put pool and I go to my matches or I go to results, and I'm gonna pull up whatever one. Let's try not to do a triangle because they're a little messy right now. You'll read in here, there'll be a pool listed somewhere. So swimming pool. So it brought it up because before or after pool, there was something else. So if you're searching for something specific, a handyman or rental, because you want to look for rental history, or suite, because you see people say in-law suite, you know, you can use that to kind of help narrow down if it's not a field you could search by. That, yes.
Can you search more than one word at a time?
Yeah, you can use a comma and then do another word, but the results seem like they don't seem as consistent as if you do them separately. But yes, you can put a comma and then do the same thing for the next word. But sometimes what it will read is if it doesn't have both of those, then it won't pull any of them. So sometimes it's better to do individually. When you don't change anything right here, you're getting the triangle and the Fayetteville MLS merged. If you just want Fayetteville, you can click just Fayetteville. If you want triangle, you can just click triangle. If you don't click anything, you get both. Right now, there is a problem with the triangle reading. The data's not coming over. It's been a little bit of messy with that. Just be prepared if it's a TR, it's a triangle, you may not have all the data. You might have to reach out to the agent and do all that fun stuff. Yes.
I have a question. Sometimes I'll be searching for a specific house and I'll put the address and then I'll put the city, but it never comes up until you have to play around with it.
So here's what I normally do for that. So if I'm trying to look for a specific property, clear all my stuff. So if I'm looking for a specific property, I will either start with multiple bits. I will start with just the house number and just put the house number and see what pops up. If I'm searching for a certain address, I will do the same thing and put an asterisk. And then put water and put asterisk. So anything that starts or ends with water will pop up as a result. And then I will do it that way. It seems to me, and I don't know the logic, if I put the full address, it says 0.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, no, it's on 0, they sent it to me, it's active. But so when I limit it and just do to street number, or I put the asterisk with the street name, it's usually easier to pull something. And again, you could do multiple pending closed, and it automatically sets to 180, but you can change that, you can edit these aren't permanent. And here's a little, what do you call it, wheel, but you can set or clear default. So if I don't want this as my default, I can clear that. So every time I log in, I don't have to fix that. Or if I want my default to be 90 days, then I can change that default and save it. So I have 90 days. So it doesn't have to be I don't know why this is. All right, so we're gonna go into any questions on this page.
I can add something if you go up, I found it useful, the more button, right there, the blue one in the middle,
Where am I?
in the middle.
Right below that.
Oh, yeah, you can add multiple addresses.
So in my client will send me like 5 houses that they like.
Yes.
Flip over to specific, so add the address, hit more, you can just put
Yes.
in the credit, small list.
Thank you, yes. So most of these allow for multiple, the zip code you have to do by commas, but most of them you can keep stacking, so that is a good point. Also, I always forget this button. So I do an awesome search for my client and then I somehow get kicked out of my MLS or I forget. If you go to recent searches, it's gonna pull like your last 10, 15 recent searches exactly as you entered it. So it's not lost forever. So you can always go right up here and pull that. You also have this map feature. So if you click on map, you have multiple options from here. So I can put my data in the first page, right? So I want a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, whatever. I have multiple options. I can draw. So if I want a certain, circle area, I can do that. And I can, use that draw area and use it, however you want to do it. You could do circles, squares, whatever. My favorite feature on here is the drive time. So when our client says, I want to be 10 minutes, not 10 miles, I would go in here and put, okay, they work at Womack. So I'm going to put Womack, or actually, I'm not going to do Womack. I'll do Cape Fear. Cape Fear Hospital. I don't know if I spelled that right, y'all, because I can't see. Okay, and I'm going to drive to here and they want to arrive. They work at 6 a.m. And they wanna be there in 15 minutes on a busy day on a Monday. I'm gonna add that, it's gonna change it to the right drive. And it's gonna only give me results that are within 15 minutes of that location. So if people want, you know, a specific time to or from, you can go to drive time, it could be to or from, you can put the time, you can change it to 5 minutes, however long they wanna be, hit add, and it's gonna give you just the results that are within that drive time. Yes,
Can you back up and show me where you got that?
right here.
That screen from? No, the whole.
Oh, when you're in your criteria screen, you can come right here and click map. So if you click map, it's gonna give you the option to circle, you could do all these wonderful things. And then there's your drive time. So the little card is like, how long does it take me to drive there? So it's different from, I wanna be 10 miles or I wanna be 10 minutes. So that's a really great feature to have for that. And then you can hit results and then, you know, you can list it from there. So in our search, I'm gonna go back to our results. A lot of people hit this number. I don't know where they learned this, and then they hit search. You could just skip that and hit results. I know it's only one click, but I like to limit. So just a quick overview of your list, your sheet here. So at the top, you know, you have your listing information. If you click on that agent, you can get their contact information, email, all that good stuff. So if they're not answering your text messages, there's their email and all their stuff there. You have the map feature. So the map's just gonna show you kind of general location. This is contract information. Here's your tax. It's gonna take you to a quick tax, which we're gonna go into Realist a little bit more later. If it's in foreclosure, this will be live and it will show you what stage of the foreclosure it's in. You have your flood map. So this will show you your range if you're in or out of the floodplain. Always double check, you know, always right here, it says that you are determined to be outside of the floodplain. Always print these and take these, give it to your client, but you always want to double check with FEMA. You can go to their website, you can always check with your lender, but this is a great quick resource if you want to print it and take it for your clients. You have photos and then the history button. History is really important. I want to check and see, has this house been on and off the market? If this house has been on and off the market multiple times, there's some questions I need to ask, right? Let's see if we can find any that has a history. Okay. Probably should have tried to find one before we got to class, but it will normally say like if there was a price drop or pending and then back on market, those are gonna be little, you know, red flags for me. If I see it's pended and went back on the market, I'm gonna ask questions, right? Like, why did it cancel? If they're here, we have a price change. So this is a great one. We can show that they listed it. And then they dropped the price and then they dropped the price. They've had two price changes, right? I'm gonna bring that up to my client, right? Because I want them to know they've already dropped the price a few times. They might be having a problem selling this house. When you go to sell it, might have a problem because I want to show the history on the house so that they understand. Of course, you always want to make sure that you're doing your CMAs and stuff for your buyers, but this is a good tool. And then the parcel map. This just kind of break down your you know, the dimensions of your lot, your aerial location, things in the area. So there's a lot of data on here. People kind of overlook at the top to provide for your clients. Here we have our photos, the policemen. If somebody is breaking the rules, report them. It's anonymous. So if you see things in here that, you know, are not accurate or wrong, I'm not saying be a tattletale, but if it's fair housing violations or things like that, if it says under contract but waiting on due diligence money, that's a violation. As soon as you have a contract, you need to pend it. So all those good things. This is your schedule of showing from showing time. Here's where all your documents will be. So if you do not, see, this is a triangle listing, so all the data didn't merge. But if you have those little, see, like this one doesn't have it, that means there's no disclosures attached. You should have all your disclosures attached. Unless they're exempt, you should go to any listing and they should have those little things attached. So when you click on it, it should take you to whatever they have shared here. Your mineral oil, maybe a home inspection, residential property is all here underneath that paperwork file.
Is that required to be in there now?
It should always be in there.
Well, it's nice courtesy, but it just.
I mean, it's not required, but it should be in there. Because you have to disclose, you're only hurting your seller, because then the buyer can back out if they don't receive the disclosures. So, you know, put your disclosures in there. You have your 3-bedroom, this is all your information and data here. Your commissions are listed here. What type of loans here, here's your remarks. Here's your list price, there's your list and agent information. So all of your data is gonna be on here. And again, you could click on this and you'd see the photos, so you could go through photos on here as well. Let's say that we're gonna go back to our criteria. So I entered in nothing, so let me just change this.
Real quick,
Yeah,
with all the tabs that you have from the other screen, is there any information that is for agents only and should not be shared with the
No.
clients?
The only thing you cannot do is send them the full display, where it has remarks 1, 2, or 2 and 3. But everything else on those tabs is public knowledge. It's all pulled from public sites. So no, that's all available to your client.
I have a question.
Yes.
I had a listen, this week and put the disclosures, in the documents. And for some reason, I could see it, but
It was the triangle agent.
no. And they couldn't see it, and they kept like asking for, I'm looking at like, you got screenshot and everything, I'm like, it's in there, they could not find it, so I actually had just downloaded and emailed it.
On your listing, did it have the paper stack up there? And they weren't a triangle agent.
No.
And they were active with them RMLS.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't explain that.
Yeah, I understand that.
If anything, I would take it to upfront, and you may have put it in the transaction desk and not had it visible.
Okay.
So just make sure, but if it showed the paper stack, they should have been there. Yes.
Could you go back to the last screen, cause, there's a tab I wanted to actually.
Yes, I cleared that, but let me just do a search real
I'm sorry.
quick. No, you're fine. I'm trying to see why it says 0 results. Let me just start over. Just put hope. All right. And I'll just pick any listing.
Alright,
Okay.
where did, display, could you give me a breakdown? of-
Yes, okay, yeah, perfect. So this display gives you all the different ways that you can view it. So these right here that say mine, I've created my own displays. So you can go in, if I do a search that I like the way it's set up, I can come over here to this little mechanism and save it. And then you can name it so it's yours. Like my CMA one always shows the closed square footage, and I'll show you how to add that if you don't know how to do that. But then these just show you, so if I went to agent one liner, it's gonna show it this way. If I go to agent one liner with
95 South.
photo, it's gonna show, somebody leaving already?
Quick question, now, with this format right here. Each format I click on, if I were to hit email and send it to a client, that's the way they're gonna see it.
No,
No,
it's gonna go into their one home.
yes,
So when you go, have you been into the one home?
once, like,
So if you go into your, we'll hit there today, when you go into your one home, it's gonna show up and it's gonna have the photo and the link to the MLS, and it's gonna, how you send it here is not, this is for you.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When you send the email, it's gonna go to the one home and it's gonna be listed the same way.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
This might be like, let's just say you wanna do a quick, screenshot, cut this snippet and post it for something. Or you just wanted to see what the house looked like before you chose it as a comp or something.
Mhm.
This is more your visual of how you wanna do it. But once and there's flyer options, so if you wanna print it as a flyer for maybe your open house. But when you send it, they get the one home link and that all looks the same.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so when we go back, I'm gonna change it to agent one liner. So once we did our search, right? So there's a lot, so I probably need to narrow it because it's probably not gonna let me do it. So let me just change this to 3 bedrooms and only a 3-bedroom and a 2-bath. All right, so I get that, I'm gonna go to my results and I'm just gonna remove the pending and so. Okay, so I go to results. I want to set this up now, so my client, I don't have to go in every day and search the MLS. Okay, I don't wanna go in every day, do the same search the MLS. I want my client to automatically get these every day. So I am going to, I am going to go right down here to save. So you see on the left tab, save. This is where that new auto email is. So once I've done my search, this is how it looks when you get here. So once I've done my search and I know this is the criteria, I'm gonna go to save. I'm gonna do new auto email. When I do new auto email, I'm going to add a contact. So I'm gonna create a contact. I'm gonna put, if there's somebody else here, do I wanna blind copy everybody? And also, do I want them to be able to opt in for text messages? So a lot of people want it to go to their phone and click the link versus their email. I would select this box in order for it to go to their phone versus their email. They'll get both, but this actually goes to their phone. The subject is what are they gonna see in their email, right? So when they get that email, it's gonna say, you know, homes in Hope County or whatever you want it to say, right? So that's what they're gonna see. This is the welcome email, okay? You can change this. You don't like it, change it. And once you change it, you can hit this little button and save it, so you don't have to change it every time. Then every day that they get an update, what do you want the message to say? Here's an updated list of homes. Here is a current list of homes, however you want it to see. If not, they're gonna get a blank like this and they're just gonna get a new link every day. But if you want it to say something, you can do that here. This is their criteria. Now, how do I want them to get it? Okay, so if it's on concierge, that means if I enable concierge mode, that means I have to approve it first before it goes to my client. The number one thing people use this for is because sometimes, let's say somebody tells you, I don't want a mobile home. Well, they're all listed as single family. So you might put concierge so that you can go through and check those before they get sent to the client, okay? Or you can set it up as regular, which is here. So this is daily, ASAP, or monthly. So ASAP means anytime that there's a change and it matches the criteria, they're gonna get an email. That can get a little overwhelming. This was very important during COVID because, you know, we were fighting for houses. We needed to know as soon as something hit the market and we had to be on it. So ASAP was great during then. ASAP, now that we're not really competing at that level and our inventory's gone up to 1.7 months, they're sitting longer. ASAP may not be as necessary unless you're in a certain neighborhood and you want to know as soon as that house jumps online. So ASAP means boom, they're gonna get it ASAP. Daily means it will go out daily and you can mark twice. Do you want it to go out once in the morning and once in the evening? Do you want it just in the morning? Do you want it just in the evening? All that good stuff. And then you have monthly emails. Maybe this is somebody who's coming here in 6 months, but you want them to start seeing what's going on in our market. You can set it up for monthly. Once that's set up, you don't have to go back every day and start doing the search for them. It's gonna automatically give them the email. If you need to change it, that's where we're gonna go back in here. You can go to my auto emails and change that criteria so that they don't have to do that anymore.
And you
Yes.
can. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
At the bottom, what's the difference between, or against the previous screen, between the tab, there's two tabs at the bottom, the second one is the new auto email search, and the first, new save search and new auto email, what's the difference?
So your saved searches, you'll name it, say Megan, you'll name it Megan. That's just a saved search. So every time I go and pull up my saved search for Megan, it's gonna show me what pops up, but Megan's not getting anything. So maybe if you're looking for an investment property and you put in certain criteria, but it's not for a certain client, but you wanna be able to go back and see what's popped up on it, you can do that. That way you could say, oh, I can send this to one of my investors. Right, but new auto email has to go to specific people. So you can set it up for yourself, but it goes to specific people. And then you can also create a shortcut. So if you create a new shortcut, you can call it Megan. And then up on the shortcut bar, I could type in Megan and then it would pull whatever was saved. So you could do any of those.
Back on the search screen, can you, like eliminate mobile home?
So you can't, so on your search criteria, it gives you the type of home that you want to have. But the problem is, so you can mark off here that you only want single family, because you could say only, or you could put not for modular. So like say I do not, right? So you can mark it and then put not. I do not want these to show up in my search. But most people list them as single family. They're not, you know, when you look
Trying to
through.
get around the.
Right. So, you know, if you limit things too much, you might miss some things because of how it's worded or put into the MLS. Yes.
Okay, if you're searching like, by loan approval, like which loans they'll take, would you go under the remarks and put the asterisk and then put like?
So you can, or you can search by loan type. So
Yeah.
you can add a field here for loan type. So if you go back in here and you go to fields, you can, somewhere on here, you go by L loan types or financing, whatever it is in the MLS, you can add it from here. And then you can go back and search. So it's either financing or it's, yeah, is it on there?
Right there.
I love, there we go.
Okay, yeah.
So you can add that and then you can go and search just by financing. So once it's added, you can go back, then you'll see your little thing down here and it will be financing and then you can search. So if you just want to look for cash or you just want to look for whatever, so you can do that too. You can also search remarks if you want cash or whatever to see if it pops up, but questions, anything? Yes,
I mean, to add,
Sorry.
what you said was, like I said, it was bottleneck your search too much, but it's really gonna put a lot of reliance on how the listing agent put it in.
yeah,
And their error could have you missing something.
yeah,
And then looking at the triangle stuff they have. in there,
right.
It almost never pops up.
Yeah. What I would say is
Footage.
start super narrow first, like your perfect house search,
Yeah.
see what pops up. Then go back and remove a field and remove a field and remove a field and then have the broader search. So your ideal search started as tight as you want, but then like he said, if the agent's super, well, I'm gonna be honest, lazy and doesn't put in all the details or doesn't fill it out at all, you're not gonna get any results from that house, but it could be the perfect house sitting there. So start super narrow, put in perfect house search, then go back and remove maybe that deck because somebody might not have added the feature, and then remove this and keep it to 3 bedroom, 2 bath in Polk County, and then go through manually and look. But the problem, if you make it too broad and people have told you specifics, they might say you're not paying attention. So be careful, don't set up the auto email on super broad if they want super specific things. You're gonna have to do concierge, then go through it yourself before you send it to them. Yes,
How would you, change the, like, the details of the auto? I'm sorry, the auto emails, like, if I was sending it ASAP and I wanted to send it maybe once every couple of days.
Okay,
You know what I
so
mean?
you go to your auto emails. I would pull up whichever email that is, go to settings, and I can come right back in here and change it.
Okay.
So I can take it off, I can change what days or times, I can change back to concierge or take off concierge, so you can go in there and change it. So just go into your My Auto Emails, go into your settings, and then change those settings within there,
And you can set it up specifically per client, right?
for sure. Yep, so you do your search first, get all the criteria in there, hit your results, and then save. And then put it for that client, and you can copy people in, like if they have a spouse or a kid or somebody, their vestor, you can copy them in, and then you can also check the box that they get the text message. Because a lot of times our emails do go to people's spam, so if you wanna ensure they're not missing that, click the box for the text messaging, and then they'll have to opt in from One Home.
Just would automatically send it to us.
No, you can set up if you wanna copy.
Copy.
So you, right here, you
Yeah.
can say, do I wanna copy? You can click on that. If you have a lot of people in there, you don't want the emails. I would say just log in every day and look at your activity on your home screen, but if you have 25 clients and you're copying yourself on all of them, that's a lot of emails to go through. But this is a great thing to set up because like a lot of people who get internet leads or floor duty leads or however you do it, you're gonna lose track of people, especially if they're not answering you. So it's very good just to set them up and they're constantly getting something from you. And it's a reminder for you to go back and look every day and go, oh, I should reach out to that person because they logged in 2 days ago. Hey, I saw you logged into the portal. How can I help you? You know, so it's just a good way to stay in front of people and, you know, and like this is her email settings. Like this is what she sees when she gets it in the email. So she knows it's from me. So you can always change how they're viewing that as well.
Where do you get that login activity you just mentioned?
When you go here and you go to My Auto Emails, you can see when she was in there.
Okay.
And you can see daily when she was in there, you can see the last time. When you go to your home screen, your dashboard, you can go down and see the last time. So like this is the last, she logged in at 7:31 this morning. So it would be a good, great, hey, Annie, saw you logged in. Do you have any questions? You see anything you're interested, you know? And then I know people are engaging.
Or she's gonna like mark favorites and things.
So then she can go in and mark favorites or anything that she wants. Yep, in One Home.
This is different from one home?
One Home is their portal.
Oh, okay.
So like when they're getting those emails, what I would suggest that everybody do is set up a search, save it, send it to yourself. And then you can go into the One Home, but that's their portal. Like they can go in, create an account, they need to create an account. And then you can see anything they like. I'll show you how to set the settings so that you get notified when they do something. Cause there are settings for that. So we did, yeah, okay. So I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. All right, so the search tab again, you can go, you can always just clear your settings, by the way. I always start over a new search because I get frustrated, but you could just hit clear. So if you put a bunch of crap in and you want to change it, you could just hit clear and it will clear all the fields and you can start over. And then you have your results. So that's kind of the basics of the search thing. We'll come back to this to show, well, actually we'll do that right now. So if we are doing, let's say a CMA, or we want to pull up numbers or stats for an area and we want to know different things, right? You can go, I'm gonna do Acorn Ridge, because there's always things in Acorn Ridge subdivision, so let me go to Acorn Ridge. Tried and true. So you'll see here, I have my closed square footage. Well, most when you pull up, you don't have that, right? This isn't here. If you hover in this gray area, and you see how I have the 4 little arrows, so it's a regular arrow, 4 areas. You click the left mouse button, you can remove or insert columns. So if I wanted to insert a column so I can see it on my search, like this closed square footage, so I can click on here and I'm gonna remove this column. Okay, oh, I did remove the wrong one, didn't I?
You mean price?
Okay, that's lovely. So I'm gonna remove the column. So I'm gonna click on that and I wanna insert a column. I'm gonna click on that and I'm gonna put square foot. Because I wanna see this closed square foot when I'm trying to run numbers on my property or whatever. So I apply it, you can add it. You can move all these, so like I can move this over here, or if you guys are a certain visual thing. Let's say I wanna look at, you can click on these and it will change it by square footage. So this is lowest to high, this is highest to low. You can click on that, it will change it. If you wanna click on square footage, sorry, I clicked too much. You can arrange it by high to low, so if you click on these top bars, it does arrange it high to low. You can change you could do it by status, so like they say pending and sold, but if I wanted to see it the opposite way, I could just click on it and it will change it. So you can kind of customize this any way you want. If you do that, you could just hit the save then and save that setting so that you always can save it as, my CMA display. Cause I always do that because I like to see the closed square footage as soon as I pull up listings. Otherwise, you're going into each one, scrolling to the bottom and seeing what the square footage is. So you can add and take away any columns that are important to you. Like if you wanted to add the financing or you wanted to do whatever, you can add all those columns that make it easier for you. And if it starts getting too long, you can just move them closer to each other. You can like rearrange everything.
So right now, if you were to back out without saving it, will it go back to what you?
It goes back to whatever
Goes back
original
to your
setting I
price.
have up here. Yeah. It will go back to whatever my normal setting
Mess
is.
up too much, back out.
Back out.
save
It's
it,
not gonna save it unless you
and it
save
will
it.
go to what you.
Yeah, so like I deleted price,
I
obviously.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I deleted price. If I back out without saving this and go back in, it will be there. I can do it.
But what do you wanna save?
Yeah, it's
Well-
right here. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
When you back out, it just backs you
You know
out.
what I mean, some,
Right, it doesn't prompt you to save it. It won't save it. Yeah. You would just click manage display and then you can save that setting. So every time you come in, like mine that's labeled CMA training, for when I do the CMA training, it's always gonna pop up these columns. So, super easy, super whatever, no issues.
You saved it, but did it give you a spot to name it?
Yeah, so here, when you go to manage, you can name it right
Okay.
there. So when you click on it, you can manage it and then save it. So you could call it however you want it. Maybe this is an investor search and you set it up a special way for investors. You can name that investor search. And then when you go to do a search, you could just search it for that and all those columns you want up could be on there. Yeah. All right, so what else do we want to do in here? Okay, so quick CMA, we'll show a couple things from that. So again, this is not a CMA class, so I'm not gonna go into how you do a CMA. But your CMAs, obviously, you wanna go in, you wanna look at the properties, make sure the right properties are most like yours. In that YouTube video channel, there are 3 appraisal panel videos where they tell you the ins and outs of how they price homes, how they do their CMAs. So when you don't believe, if we teach it and you're like, that's not true, it's always good to go to the videos and watch the professionals because they tell you. One thing that everybody does not realize is your bedrooms do not have to have a closet, okay? So it has to have a window and a door. Does not have to have a closet if the room can function as a bedroom. There is a size requirement and you can't put a pantry and say that's a bedroom. But everybody thinks you have to have a closet, a window and a door. You do not. You can look up the guidelines, you can watch the videos, you do not. But that's something that you have to consider when you're looking at houses and somebody says it's a 4-bedroom, you're like, no, it's not, whatever. So I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole. But so on here, you'll see on the bottom that you have a quick CMA, a 3-up, a cloud CMA, and a regular CMA. Okay, so these are all different. Your quick CMA, I see people use for pricing all the time, and y'all, that is not how you price. The quick CMA is literally pricing, just showing you active, pending, sold, whatever your criteria is. the minimum, the max, the average, the median. There are no adjustments on here. No adjustments for features, no adjustments for square footage. This is just giving you all the data in a pretty graph, like a pretty picture. This is great to send to your clients for a market review. You know, anybody you know who owns a home, they should get something like this every 3 months. Hey, here's the activity in your area. This is what's been going on. These are the active pending sold the last 3 months. This is a pretty little report for that, okay? But this is not doing any adjustments per se. So it's not taking anything into consideration. Again, you can see how my little customized thing. If you do the 3-up CMA, same thing. It is not doing adjustments. What it's doing is giving you these 3 properties side by side with details and photos. Okay, this is not doing any adjustments. It's not taking condition into consideration. Literally, this is just giving you data in a 3-column sheet. Okay, so great for your social media, great for updating clients, but if you're going to a presentation, that is not the one I would use. So CMA, if you click CMA, this is where you would do the full-blown CMA, and we're not gonna go, we do have a CMA class that we do, so we're not gonna go all the way into that. But you can create a contact, okay, or you can pull a contact from your list. You can just, maybe you're just trying to do research and you don't actually have a contact you want to send it to, you could just like label it Acorn Ridge. That way later when we go find it, it has a name, you can go find it, okay? Your pages, you can do literally, they give you a ton of options, okay? So if I click on these, it's gonna give me a gazillion pages, okay? Cool, I'm not taking 50 pages to my listing appointment, but I wanna show you what it looks like, right? You can go in and delete, I don't want this one, I can just delete it. You know, you can add and delete. You have custom pages. The custom pages, I'll add that so you can see an example of that. Custom pages, maybe you wanna upload your reviews, right? Like you wanna have your reviews in there, so you don't forget to go over them when you're going over your CMA. You can upload that. You can upload, maybe you have a sales graph about you or your awards or whatever. You can add right here, manage custom pages. You can add custom things to your CMA right into the CMA report. So you should have a listing presentation, but let's say you don't, and you just like to take a CMA. You can add some of those pages here. So when you go to the presentation, you're not, maybe your marketing plan, right? You have a beautiful canvas sheet of marketing plan, upload it here. So then when you do your CMA, you're gonna see it. So then they have all these different pages that you can do. Now, as you can see, all these little bars up here have lit up. Except the cover, because I didn't click on cover, obviously. So if I click on the cover, now it lights up, okay? So these are all the options you have in your CMA. So what I tell people, if you've never done it, add them all. We'll spin through it real quick when we get to the end. Pick and choose the ones you want. Once you've customized the one you want, like mine was, you can hit it as default. So I only do 4 things up here. So once you pick the ones you like, you can hit set as default, and that way every time you come in, the same pages are gonna be there. Your subject property, you have 3 ways that you can do it. 1, you can enter it manually. So I'm gonna go in and put all the details, physically, manually. Enter a listing ID to fill. If I know it has an old MLS number, a sold MLS number, I can put that in there and hit fill, and it's gonna pull all the data for me. Or I can do search for a listing within the MLS and see if I can find it, and then it will autofill it, okay? So I'm just gonna do enter manually. This is the same screen if it autofills. So if it autofills, it's gonna fill it out. So I'm just gonna put 3 bedrooms. I'm gonna put 5 bathrooms. I'm gonna leave that blank for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna do 1 car garage. So you're gonna fill out as much as you can, okay? So I'm gonna put my sold square footage as. Okay. So you're gonna put as much data as you can. Great, okay. There's your cover sheet. Is your cover sheet accurate? You put your, client's information. So it would say Mr. and Mrs. Smith, whatever. And then your comparables. So I picked those 3. Remember, I went through them. I picked the best 3. They're here. Now I'm sitting with a friend and he says, hey, you really should use this one from this other neighborhood. You can click on add from listings and go back into the MLS and add additional ones here. So if you know there's another one you want to add, you can go back and add it. Then you have your map. This just shows where they're located so that it's a visual, how far, whatever. I'm gonna show you another thing with that too. Adjustments. So this is our adjustment screen. So you want to, I have no secret numbers to give you. So everybody says, I don't know what numbers to use. In our office, we collect data from all the appraisals in our office, and then we create kind of our own cheat sheet. But really, there's no set numbers for anything. What they say is look at the comparables, what's different, that's how you come up with your value. So let's just say that we're saying a bathroom is $5,000, okay? So I'm gonna enter $5,000 for that value. It's gonna take the adjustment for me. So remember, I want all of the comparables to look like my subject. So I have 5 bathrooms in Acorn Ridge, and they all have 2. So I need to add 3 bathrooms to them to make it look like me, right? So it does the math for you. It's adding that value for you. Now you'll see the half bath, it says no data. So that means I did not fill in the data on the subject. So I have to go, if you see no data, you have to go back and complete something. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna put that my half bath has 1. And then I'm gonna go back to my adjustments, and now you'll see that's gone. So I'm gonna put 2,500 and it's gonna do the math. Okay, as you go through, there's garage spaces, I can put a value. If nobody has carports, we may not have to go back and fix it, but what it's telling me is I didn't put anything in. Now you also have age, you could do all these things. So now we get to square footage. Okay, you always go to your pricing tab. Here's your average price per square foot, which is 193. You're gonna divide that in half. So you're gonna take 50% of that. I don't know what the math is, so I'm just putting in a number. And you're gonna put that half number in here, okay? And then it's gonna take that adjustments for you. That's how you do your adjustments in here. You don't do the quick CMA, because now you see the prices are very different. This is where they started at. This is how I made them like me. Now this one's in pending, so it's not gonna do an adjustment. If it's a triangle listing, it's not gonna do an adjustment. You're gonna have to go do it manually. So I would go to Real List, I would pull up this property, figure out what the square footage is, do the math and do the difference, and then manually enter it in here. And then you can also add additional features. So back on your subject screen, at the bottom, if I have a pool, if I have a fence, if I have anything I want value for, I can add it right here. Okay, and then I can go back and make the adjustments on that other screen. So like if on here I do a pool, right? And I have 1 and it's a high quality, I'm gonna say, and give me some, I'm 1, okay? So I have a pool, that's my quality, whatever. I'm gonna go to my adjustments. I'm gonna scroll to the end where I have my pool. So my pool is worth $10,000. Well, no, they're never gonna give you $10,000. $7,000. All right, so everybody else is 0. So I'm gonna say they do not have a pool. They're gonna do the math for me. They do not have a pool. They're gonna do the math for me. They have 2 pools, whatever. Now they're taking 1 away because I have only 1 pool. So that's how you could, like, if you have tile or you have maybe all these upgrades, you give yourself a level 3 and 3 floors, 3 rooms have hardwood floors, and you're giving yourself $1,000 total for all 3. Maybe only 1 room has it here. You would put a 1 and it would take the difference then. I know it's, take the CMA class, it goes way more in depth, but if you're just putting things in and not doing these adjustments, you're missing a lot of features of that. Yes.
We, on the slippery slope, we need you an appraiser, because we don't do appraisal. By doing adjustments, are we getting real close to being an appraiser?
No, you have to do adjustments on your CMAs. So if anything, you stick to bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage and upgrades, but that's, watch the videos is all I can say. They give you guidance in how to do that, but they're almost doing the same thing you are. They're using our same platform.
Oh, I
and they're
understand.
doing, yeah,
They're legal, they're.
yeah, but you are too. You are too to determine value. So that's how you have to determine value. Let's make our square footage equal. Let's make our bathrooms equal. Now, is yours always gonna be right on with theirs? No. Everybody's, me, you and Liz could do a CMA on the same property and we're probably all 3 gonna have different numbers. It's a matter of opinion. That's why the appraisal is only good the day it's done. It's a matter of opinion. So, but you've got to give them something, because if you just go in there and make no adjustments and your house down the street was 2,000 square feet and yours is 1,600 square feet, and I'm telling you can price for heat price, no, you can't, because that's a 400, you know. So now this is what, go ahead.
But you know what I mean.
I mean, there's a line. You're not going to go nitpick a lot of tiny little things, but yes, yes.
Keep it general, keep it.
Yes, but do your best, because you don't want to just take a quick CMA, because there's no adjustments there. So this is generating all those pages, so it's gonna take a minute, but again, if you don't like something, I can go back here, go back to my pages and remove it and edit it right from here. I don't have to start over with that CMA. So I can always go back in and re-edit it and rechange it and do whatever I need to do with that. We're just gonna let that keep running for a minute. So that your CMA is here, you can go back, you can change it. If I wanna go back into a CMA, I can go to my CMAs and change it. Okay, here we go. So here's like the CMA Pro report. Again, you'd have to go through all these, but these are all the things that it gives you. There's different graphs, there's charts. Here's the pricing recommendation. And you can write notes in there, you know, like, hey, the top priced home was remodeled and you're not whatever. This gives you great, you know, activity versus timing. It's a great thing to give somebody to say, hey, the first 2 weeks, your most exposure, you don't want to overprice. It gives you how to set the price, what the buyer's expectations, sellers are. There's a lot of good graphics in here. Here's your adjustment page. So when the appraiser says, you know, Tidewater, okay, so Tidewater, VA loan, you don't get value, you get to dispute it. This is what you're going to give them if they don't require you to put it on their graph. You can use this graph. This is the graph you will send them, and they will totally accept this. If you're just emailing them cut sheets for properties, that's why you're not getting your value, because you're not doing any work. So you want to do the graph part, and that's what you could turn in for that. This breaks down all the digits, the numbers, adjustments, highs, lows. So I mean, there's so much content in here that you can take the effective over pricing. This is great. If you did a pre-list interview and they said that they're at 200,000 and you're doing your CMA and you're at 150, take this so that you can say, this is what's going to happen if we overprice. This is benefits of using a realtor. If you're soliciting for sale by owners, this could be a great sheet to send them. So there's a lot of little things in here they provide you. This is market value. So when you're priced at market, this is how much exposure you get, yada, yada, yada. So there's a lot of good extra things in here that you can use. Where buyers come from, what I'm going to do for you. It's like great, but I'm trying to get, so here's my custom pages. So I uploaded maybe a quick one-liner for them to see all the activity. Here's my sales graph for my company, so it could show our position in the market. This is a 1004 market condition report, which I will show you. And then this is their net sheet. You know, maybe I threw the net sheet in here for them to see as well. And then these are the different cover sheets. So that's where it's with those custom pages. It kind of flows with your presentation. So if you do your reviews or you do whatever.
Never seen the graph. So the graph sheet one, was it automatically updated, or that's something you did or and then uploaded?
My personal graph,
The one that you just showed?
which one?
The-
Which,
Not the graph sheet, keep that one.
the net
The net
sheet.
one,
No,
yeah.
I uploaded this one from Zip Forms.
Got it.
So I uploaded it from my custom
Got it,
forms.
got it.
Yeah. Okay, another thing in the quick search. If I want to show like a market, if you've ever taken Scott Harden's class, he's probably shown you this. Just gonna do Hoke. If say I'm going and I want to just show a general market overview of something and I just want to show new construction, whatever. I'm gonna go to results. I can click on this, right? Whatever I want, the data I want, and I want to go to print. Okay, so I selected all those. I want to go to print. I go to print. This 1004 market conditions detail. If you click on that and you go to print to PDF, it's going to generate a little market stat. Again, no adjustments, but it's showing you all the active that I selected, and it's showing you your current stats from 7 to 12 months, 4 to 6 months, 0 to 3 months. A lot of people will use this for listings, market updates, buyers, to show them the current trends. So this is your median pricing, this is your median days on market, just a lot of good data from whatever you selected. So again, you would go into your search, you would select the ones you want, and then you would go to print, and it's the 1004 market condition. You also, if I want to do, if I'm going to client full, you can print from there. There's a 360 property view. So if you want to send something to your client, you want to print it because you're getting ready to go show a house, you want to print it, you can go to the 360 view and select the items in one shot that you want printed. So if I want to print that flood map, and I wanna print the history so I can show them, I can come to 360, select all those things, and it will print then. Instead of me going back and downloading and printing, go back and print, go back and print, I just go to 360, select the fields I want, and I can print from there. Cool? All right. All right, our stats tab. If y'all have to take a break, just go ahead and go to the bathroom, but I'm trying to roll through this, so. Our stats tab. So our stats tab is great for buyers or sellers. This is great data that you can show. So a lot of people may be confused on what's happening market. Even our agents should go and do this regularly. What's happening with our market? What's going on? So you can use presets like this. These are already preset for you. These are, I'm gonna hit residential. And I want to see maybe the historical count of active listings, okay? No, let's do original price versus sold price. So I'm going to click on that, and I want to see this data for Hope County. Okay, I can enter in any other stuff I want. So if I just want new construction, if I just want whatever. I hit, let's just do no new construction, because I do mostly existing homes. I'm going to hit generate. It's gonna show you this graph. I can't read graphs, so I'm gonna click data. It's now showing me that in February 2023, we were at 265 median, close price 258. And it's showing you over time this last year, right? So this is something that you can show people how the trend is, you know, look at our trend. We know that the prices have come down a little bit, days on market longer. So this is great data that you can take to show them. Okay, and they have all different, they have historical sales versus price range. So you can hit generate on that, and it's gonna show you, you know, the 100, like here's our biggest range, 300 to 550.
Whoa, sorry about that, sorry, I was just trying to.
Man, so you're bored and you're watching TikTok while I'm trying to teach you the MLS. Okay, girl.
I'm trying to do I got it.
I'm watching you now. It better be a good one. So historical count of active listings. So this is showing you, you know, 2019 in January, we had 157, 20, look at that, that's COVID. We're coming back up, you know, 38. So it's showing you history. So people can see the difference, like, why am I not getting all my closing, or why am I not whatever? You have a lot of information that you can share on these graphs. But now you can even go more in depth. You can hit customize. If I go to customize, maybe I want to go to the last 12 months, okay? And I want to show my client close price to list price ratio. I think I want to do that one, okay? So let's do, well, anyways, okay, so there's a lot of good ones on here. There's days to sell average, there's months of inventory. I think I want to do close price to list price ratio.
Can you do more than one at a time?
Yes, so you can do advanced options and you can keep adding more stats. Okay, and then I'm going to group it by month and I'm going to hit generate. So now this is showing, now you can do a chart. Okay, so if you like charts, there's your chart. The data here is, you know, showing that we're still in Hope County at 100%, right? List to sell ratio. You can go back to your criteria. You can change it to a specific neighborhood. You can change it to a school district. You could change it to the market. You can change it to anything you want. So if I do Acorn Ridge, that one's probably still really good stats, though. It's probably not a good example. Hit generate, you'll see data, and it's showing it that it's still. So if I go to a listing appointment, I'll be like, hey, if I have a buyer, I'm gonna say, look, they're still closing at full price. What were you gonna say?
Pretty much that, when you get the client that feels like they can swoop in and make a deal.
Yeah.
And you go, what's your list for? I'm like, honestly, just last year, people's listing prices have been close to closing, so I think a full price offer would be good.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah, so you can go through and pull it for, you know, buyer, sellers, neighborhood, school district, county, pretty much anything. And they have all different types of stats. So you could do days on market average. That's really good right now because we know our days to sell average have dramatically increased. We're up to 1.7 months supply. Still not balanced. 6 months is balanced. You're going to see towards the end of summer when the rates continue to drop, it's going to get a little crazy again, like COVID. But right now, sellers are giving more things away because the market time is increasing. Acorn Ridge is probably not a good example, but you know, this is great to pull for certain neighborhoods. Because if I'm going to a listing appointment, I can show them, set the expectation. If I have a buyer, I can set the expectation, but maybe these numbers look too good and I don't want to tell my seller they're gonna sell in 7 days. I might go back and change it and put it by their school district versus their neighborhood. So then I would, take that off and maybe go down and add their school district. So you can add the school district and just do a search by school district.
So you click on school at the bottom.
Yeah, so you could just click on a school. If I wanna put in, Jack Britt or something, I can click on Jack Britt and add Jack Britt and then pull the stats for just Jack Britt. And then that way, you could show them your neighborhood, but then you can show them the school at the same time. So you have that availability for that. And you can go through, you can save those, you can go back there and do all kinds of stuff with that. So, I think when we were screaming at her TikTok, my thing went off. Okay. So that's the stats tabs. Questions on anything with that? All right, Realist. Realist, a couple quick things that I'm gonna show you in Realist. So you can of course do a property search. If you've never been in here, you wanna go to change county. Make sure that you have the counties in here that you're working. So if you're trying to pull info on a Cumberland County house, but you don't have Cumberland County marked, it's not gonna pull it, okay? So always come in there and make sure that your counties are marked. If you go to your My Search, you can do a customized search. So if you come in there, you can search by certain categories that you want to search on. Why is it not scrolling? Why am I not moving? Well, typically you can scroll on here. I'm not sure why I'm not scrolling. And you can choose categories that you want to search by. So I'm going to pull up a property just to show you like one thing I would definitely search by, but I'll show you that in a second. Why am I not scrolling?
Screen thing again.
Well, where's my little thing? Okay, well, hold on. We'll try to go back to that. So if I put in, all right, put that in, pull a property, search. You're gonna see that they have at the bottom here, a cell code. So what that means is the probability, so this just gives you general information. So bedrooms, baths, city, you can pay for the crime report now through here, it gives you neighborhood. If it's within 250 feet of a flood zone, it has all this data here, their tax, their legal description, all that good stuff. Here's their tax bill. So when you need to do the tax adjustment for their net sheets or anything, down here, they have a probability code, sell indicator. What this means is how likely is this person to sell? Okay, so people look at it as, oh, this is how high it's gonna be able to sell. No, this is an indicator of how long they've owned it, the equity in it, how likely is this gonna be a person who sells in a relatively close amount of time. So on that customized tab that I was showing you, you can search by, say, 800 and above. So you're trying to get listings, right? You could go in, search, sell score, 800 and above, then get the results, and then go to print labels, and you have the mailing labels for those properties. So it's just a way to use to kind of get details on, to try to solicit people for listings. This also has comparables and things like that. Do not use this to do your CMA, because this is a very broad look, but it does have market trends. It has a neighborhood profile. So you will have people that say like, what's the information on this area? This will tell you single, married, working, walkability, jobs, all that stuff. So they want to know more information, the schools, all of that. You can go to neighborhood profile and pull this report. And that gives them a lot of details. Okay, so you also have, what is going on? Why can't I scroll? Ugh. Okay, well, we're gonna.
Go to those 3 dots up in the top corner and see if the magnifying glass is in there.
No, Liz, I'm bringing you lunch to work tomorrow, Liz. Wait, I'm going bigger. I don't want bigger. I want small. We're gonna be friends, Liz.
There we go.
I'm gonna come to your office tomorrow and bring you treats. Okay, yes.
Did a search on here on a property that had already been sold and whatnot. And it showed like, the value. I think it was the actual value, but it's the value, the price of what it is today versus what it was then. is that accurate, like, does that mean like there's been a set,
So the
Wait, wait.
ABN value is basically,
That's
it's
what-
taking all of the data from closed sales, tax records, everything, and putting a value range.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's right on, sometimes it is not. So it could be based on that area's had their tax assessments, how many sales have closed out, what's going on in that area, and it pulls data from like 3 different sources. If you read underneath, it will tell you exactly the sources it comes from.
Yeah.
So sometimes they could be right on. I wouldn't take that and use that as my pricing. I would take it as, okay, let me look at this, now let me go do an actual CMA and see. Cause sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it's not. So if you go to that customized search, boom, Liz, I'm bringing you something. You can go and search by what you want, those advanced things. So I can search for if there's any foreclosure cases. I can search for auction dates. I can search for an indicator, foreclosure indicator, which means if these people are delayed on their payments, it could pop up. I can search by pool. I can search by that selling code that I just showed you. So you can search by all kinds of things, which is kind of cool because it gives you a lot of information. You can search by mailing, information. So there's a lot of things that you can search by that could help you in regards to maybe marketing for listings and so forth. You also have in here, we're still under my search, you can go to a subdivision. So maybe I want to search for Acorn Ridge, huh? So you can put whatever neighborhood you want. You guys are gonna start learning, I use that in every class. But you can search for anything, but if it's a neighborhood like Gates 4, sometimes they spell it Gates and then FR or FUR, or you might have to play with that. Oh, this isn't gonna pop up. Why is it not popping up? My county. So I didn't mark my county for Cumberland County. So you gotta make sure that you're marking your counties or it's not gonna pull it.
software.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go into my subdivision. I'm gonna pull Acorn Ridge. I'm gonna do search. No, I don't have any special criteria. It's just the neighborhood. So I'm gonna check on these. I'm gonna check these, check this, and I'm gonna hit apply. It is now going, I'm gonna hit search and it's pulling up all of these. That's the neighborhood. So if I wanted to get the mailing labels for that neighborhood, I could just do labels. And I can export it. So if you want to export it to a spreadsheet or another website or something you use. If not, you can hit labels and I can use tax billing address. I can put, create custom and put or current owner. I can put or current owner. Okay, I can do that. I want foreign addresses, don't eliminate duplicates, I can go through and do whatever. I can use the property address or I can use a tax billing address. So like if you own rentals, my tax billing address will go to me, not my properties. So I can do tax billing address, all that good stuff, hit create, and then it prints your mailing labels. You just put your labels in the printer and now you have your farming labels wherever they went.
To the top,
Up top.
to the top.
Just an arrow.
Go to the arrow, the thing under it, right there.
Y'all can tell I'm not a tech person, right? If I didn't give it away. So now I can just print it on my labels. So, you have the ability to do farming right from here. If you use a platform like Postcard Mania or something, you can hit export and export the spreadsheet and then upload it to your postcard website. So you have the ability to do that
What's the
too.
difference between the red and black?
Black hasn't had a recent sale, I believe, and the other ones, the reds are recent solds, I think in the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure.
That's a
It's
good
right.
question. Is there some sort of, box that tells you exactly what all the things mean?
Yeah, right
Yeah.
There it is, yeah.
Okay, okay.
And then there's different things too, yeah, yeah. But it's a nice, and this is usually, anytime that I get, like, I'm gonna write an offer on a property or go to listing, I always pull the realist report. Because it gives you like, this is what you should be checking, so if you're copying from the MLS sheet, you should be coming here, because if they just put Joe on it, and there's really Joe and Mike that needs to sell, you might see that on the tax record sheet. If, because they might not be on the deed, but if they're showing up, that means that they've been somewhere added somewhere along the lines. So this has a lot of great tools in there. If you go to that Matrix lab, they have a ton of quick videos that you can use on how to use Realist, but Realist is all different kinds of things that you can do. So with that customized search, you can add, expired, you can search expired listings on here. You can do all kinds of things if you're trying to farm and find. If you're just doing a quick search, this is where you can put your property address and your name or an MLS ID. You can put that all in here, just pull a property if you want to look. So you can do that too. That's realist, your finance. So this is your calculators. I definitely would stick with your lender doing those type of things, but if you want to go in and look at buyers, closing cost calculators, stuff like that, you can do that. To add your listings, so if you're gonna add your listings, I can't really demonstrate that, but you can go through and add, go through page by page. It will tell you the required forms, the required fields. The best thing I can tell you is fill out everything, even if it's not required, because the more info you have, the higher you're gonna result on the search thing.
On the ad edit, is there a spot where you can print off all of what you need? I know we used to be able to print off,
Yes,
Like
you
the
should
3
be
or
able to go
4
in there,
pages
yes,
to
and it'll
them.
have, yes, you can do that.
so you don't forget when you're with them.
Yep, you can do that. You can print that off and it's the MLS input sheet, basically. So you can go to, it's a print option in that field and it will let you do that.
And with the new system, is it friendly where if you forget something?
It's not gonna let you move on. There's required fields where if you forget something, it's not gonna let you move on until you put it in.
To print that sheet he was talking about, you have to put in the listing and then.
So you would go to the input screen after this and then it will show all those fields and you can hit print from there and it will show you the fields that you're
So you look at
required.
that and then we'll put input.
Yep, and then print that. Yep. Market reports, this is if you're being nosy by production of people. Links, so our links tab, this is gonna take you to pretty much anything you might wanna have access to. So if you need the county register of deeds for Hoke, Harnett, Cumberland, the school sites, all of that is gonna be here. There's also the assessment form for PWC. So if you're ever in an area of PWC, you should be filling out the assessment form, sending it in for them to verify if there's assessments. There's your do's and don'ts of coming soon. That's been becoming a problem. So if you're not familiar with how coming soon works, that's the do's and don'ts, and you cannot advertise a property coming soon unless it is in the MLS is coming soon. So that goes over that. The coming soon addendum is here as well. That has to accompany that. Yes,
What's PWC?
Public Works Commission. That's the water company here.
And why do we want?
Because there's a lot of areas that were on private sewer, like septics, and now they're being annexed to go to public sewer. Like Cliffdale West, places like that still have homes that have not connected.
And they're gonna be getting assessed.
So you want to make sure when you send it in that if they were part of the assessment, if they paid it, and then if they hooked up, because they may not have hooked up. So if you're not verifying that, you want to call the utility company and say, have they hooked up and did they pay their assessment? Yeah, it's money, a lot of money. Yes.
I was in Monday's class and she kind of touched on production, and after the class, I found the production worksheet and links, so. It was really helpful. I was able to go in there and plug everything in and.
Yeah.
So if you run that class, check that one out.
What was Monday's class?
It was like basic for buyers.
Oh, yeah, that was Amanda? No,
Or not.
Amanda?
Melissa?
Melissa McKinney, yeah. So we have our quick links here for everything that you need here. We also have your links to Canopy. So if you work Charlotte MLS, you can come in and go directly to their MLS. So you can scroll through, hit I accept, and now you have access to their MLS. So now I'm in Canopy's. So if for some reason you wanted to work Charlotte MLS, the one thing that I do like that they do a lot of training. So I log in once in a while just to see what training classes they have because they do a lot of training. But it takes you to their MLS on that. Right up here at the top, next to links, it says Canopy. Yours might say more. If it says more, click on that and that will go to that. All right. One last thing I want to show you. RPR. If you go back to your home, the longleaf pines thing and you click on RPR. Oh crap, I probably don't remember my password.
Oh, okay. You too. right?
It's saved on my computer.
I hear you. Okay, that.
But RPR is a really great, of course. All right. Yes. Okay. Cool, I logged myself out. If you go into RPR, this is a really great platform. It does a lot of things in here. You can do a manual CMA. It does pull tax information on the property. It gives you details of the property, the schools, the ratings. It gives you an evaluation of pricing. RPR is a little bit more accurate than the AVM. Because it's based on full data from the MLSs. So it's a really great resource. If you've not gotten into it, I would log into it, start looking through it. It provides great listing information, stats. You can pull labels to do mailings too, especially condos. Condos are very hard to do in Matrix, but you could do it in RPR. It will say condos and it will say public record. So there's a lot of cool things. If you've not played in RPR, it's a great tool. It's a great tool to add the app to your phone as well. There's a lot of good tools that are provided through RPR. Yes.
One of my favorite things about it is like the geographic mapping. So if I'm just like in a neighborhood filling time and full of RPO, it's gonna show my location, everything for sales, sold, or active around us. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so it's like pretty accurate.
Yeah, and use your showing time for that too. They've been really good with showing time
Yeah.
too, with their geographical mapping. They've gotten a little bit better with that than they used to be. So your fast stats, this is exactly what it is, a fast stat. So you can pull information from certain areas. Then you can go for your time period, hit view report, and it's gonna pull all that data. Everything that Zan sends out every month for market updates comes from this. Everything we send the newspaper comes from this. You have monthly indicators. So again, you can put in, I just pick November, hit view report, and it's gonna pull a lot of data about what's been going on in the market, how our pending sales are, our closed sales, days on market. All this stuff here is great for you to learn what's going on, but it's also great for your clients, sellers, people who put social media content. You can just snip this, put it on there so people are seeing what's going on in the market versus all the bad gloom and doom that they've heard. There's the housing supply overview, same thing. You can pull the data from that and it's gonna show you, how the housing supply looks. And it's gonna tell you based on pending sales, our inventory levels. So tons of good content that you can use here.
And that pulls from our.
That pulls from our data, yep. And then Info Sparks is similar. It's gonna pull, you can pull different price ranges. So if I wanna look, if I'm soliciting to the 275 or more, single family, what kind of bedrooms, what kind of baths, I can pull that and then it's gonna give you a report for that. So these are really, 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 really great tools to use for your, and there's more fields that you can use. You can pull different, how many new listings have there been, homes for sale, how many pending sales in this price range. So if you're trying to solicit a certain person, you could say, hey, we have this many, months supply in this price range. This is a great time to sell, so you can come in specifically.
But don't we have all this in our matrix? I mean, there's.
Yeah, but this is quick. I promise you, you can do this quicker than you do the stats one. I'll bet $50. And I feel very confident on my bet. So this is just a quick, easy Info Sparks. You pull it all, and it shows you, you could do a graph, you could do all kinds of stuff with it. So it's just, very cool little quick stats. We're trying, the number one thing the agent said is they didn't understand the market. So a lot of these tools they're adding is for you to go in and read and educate yourself on what's going on in the market to be able to relay that to the public. And these are very quick, easy stats that you can share on social. You're setting the tone, when you're sharing what's going on really in the market versus we live in a bubble. We're a little different than everywhere else. It's not doom and gloom here. So we want to make sure that we're,
And most of those are pulling off of our.
It's off of our data.
Off of our.
Yep, our data. Showing time. So real quick with showing time. So you can go into your listings, you can go into your, change your showings. You can see if you have messages on there. A lot of people try to message on showing time. That can get a little complicated because if people don't have their notifications on their app and showing time, they're not going to get that. So I would say text the agent. But you can also go into your listings. You can go into your listings and send a notification. Sorry, this is my whole office. I'll just choose one for demonstration. You can send out messages. So if I want to get first a listing activity report, so I want to show my client what's been going on, how many showings, how much feedback, I want to give them updates. I can print this report and send it to them. So, our number one complaint still in the consumer report through NAR is that we don't communicate enough with our clients. So, once a week, if you have a listing, you should be sending them these reports. This is how many showings we've had. This is our feedbacks. This is the activity. This is whatever. It's not like COVID. If you've got licensed during COVID, you haven't really had to do real estate yet. So, this is where you gotta learn how to maintain that client for 4 months, 5 months. How are you gonna convince them to do closing costs or a warrant? I mean, it's a very different market if you've not been licensed longer than 3 years.
Can we still set that up to auto?
Yeah, you can,
auto sample?
it's not gonna send them a report automatically on here. You have to go in and initiate that.
Oh, we dropped that, okay.
Yeah. This one is not automatic through showing time. Yeah, and then you can send notifications, so if I have a price change or whatever, I can send a notification out to the agents, there's been a price change. You can go in and change your showing instructions, your details, all that good stuff. So get engaged in your showing time. A lot of people set it and leave it. But there are good reports that you can send and activities you can look and do. So that's really the number one thing I wanted to show you on showing time. Questions that anybody has, but tell me to keep it 1 hour and a half max. Anything that you guys have questions on? Did anybody learn anything new today? Okay, so it was worth your time. All right. Do you guys have a question or something that I didn't answer or might be able to answer?
On other classes, are they like 10 to 12, like these other,
No, the MLS classes, I have no idea what we're gonna change the structure moving forward and it's gonna be a 9-week thing. And each week is gonna tell you what we're actually gonna cover.
The other,
The practical apps.
like the class on writing a contract, the class on doing, are they like 10 to 12?
All the practical apps are 9 to 1, but anything else is what I choose because I'm volunteering. If they're gonna be 9, 10, and 1 o'clock, I can't guarantee that. I'm the only one doing it right now.
I know how that works.
So, yeah. But any other questions? Yes. Oh, wait, you were the one listening to TikTok. I bet it happened right when you were watching
I
TikTok.
was trying to pull up that
Okay.
market thing to see what I was, what I was talking about earlier, but,
I got you.
you pulled up a listing. And, one of the tabs, you can see the foreclosure.
Yeah.
That was just in the listing, but what if the home isn't listed? And you wanna see the foreclosure?
So you can go into that reel list and you can go to the My Search and Customize and search foreclosure status.
Okay.
And then it will pull anybody in that demographic that you've put in. So when you
Okay.
go to your My Search, you can go to the customized search and then you could go down and look for
Oh, I
foreclosure.
did see it.
Did you see it? Okay, I can't really read. I'm just rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you're in the real list, when you had pulled up the labels for the farming.
Yes.
How did you designate the neighborhood or
Okay.
area?
So when you go to My Search, you're gonna go down to subdivision, select from list, and then you can enter in that subdivision right here.
Okay.
And like I said, if it ever has any weird spelling, you need to make sure you go look up a deed and see if they recorded it some other way. Or it might just have part of the word in it and search it. But if you have a neighborhood that has one in Sanford and one here, you might want to go uncheck Lee County and just check Cumberland, so you're only getting the Cumberland ones. Yes.
What is QB
Cubic Casa.
Okay.
The Cubic Casa is where you could go in and take pictures of your own listing and it will create your diagram. The measurements and diagram for your listing. So you have to go in and create the account and it will, I haven't used it yet because I hired somebody to do that. So you could go in and get the app, download it, and then it will walk you through it. But ideally, you're supposed to take a picture, video of that room. It will draw the diagram of measurements and the floor plan for you. Yes, and that was just recently added for Longley.
Are most of these apps, on there, also like app that
Your MLS is, so you can take the app for your MLS and have access to all those. Any other? Yes.
I have a question about one home. So I had a listing and I was going to email it to my clients. Well, when it comes, I actually emailed it to myself so I could see what it looked like. And in the banner at the top, because I was just affiliated with one firm, but the new firm at the very top, it wasn't showing the new firm, it was showing the old firm. So how do I change that?
It should be changed if you change through the MLS. So you've reassociated through here and registered with your new.
Right.
Is it still showing the old one?
It is.
I would see Debbie.
Okay, Debbie.
That was.
You have it set up with the time before you transitions. You already have that one set up before you transition.
No.
Set it up new.
Right.
Yeah, and it should transfer even if, I would ask Debbie.
Okay.
You might be able to go in and edit all of that, but I would ask, because if you go back through where we showed the summary,
Right.
you could go back through and change all of it there and it should sync to the one home. But if not, you could ask me about that. You good? Okay, everybody good? We're finished, yeah. Okay, sorry, we're finished. You're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Oh, we're gonna something.
Takes like a lot of time fixing around to learn to get to.
Yeah, you just gotta keep spending, that matrix
You
lab
could have
though,
made this a 4-hour class.
I could have.
Yeah.
My last one was 3 hours.
It's only at about 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, and I try to like think of the things I really don't want to miss.
I'm really good.
Yeah, and go, my guy, use that YouTube channel because there are longer videos. Yeah, and then that learning lab thing is really cool. 'Cause I still go in and pick one every week to watch and they're only 3 minutes.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye, Chris, I didn't see you. No, that is part of your association. I don't have it. You sent an email along. Yeah, and then it's just the app you put on and then you have the name or phone number and it pulls up everything on
And that one we researching people, that's pretty.
that, like if I get a showing request from somebody and I
Yeah,
don't know who
like,
they are.
like, so.
Yeah, the long leads, yep, they'll resend you an email. Association, yeah, that's here. Oh, yeah, yep. Once you pull it up on YouTube, you should have full access. Oh, I didn't realize that I had people on Zoom. I should have asked them if they had a question. Well, I don't even know how to access.
You really can't.
No, I have new glasses coming today, so I can't, because I cannot see. I don't even know where the Zoom is anymore.
It may have gotten, they may have checked
Well,
out.
I hope they hung up. I forgot they were on there. I don't even know where they are. Sorry, people on Zoom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, well, everybody got off. Okay, oh wait, there's chat. Maybe somebody hung out. Oh, no, okay.
Thanks, Megan.
Yes, hey, thanks. Okay. All right, sorry.
Thanks to class.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Curtis.
Curtis. You have a lot of good knowledge